Hi there, this is Gila. Hope you're all having a great day and are looking forward to a wonderful weekend. Here in Israel we actually had our first rain last night, our first proper rain. Here it's considered a blessing. We don't have any rain at all during the summer and we badly need it now. In fact, many people actually pray for rain. It's that important. Okay, so Tommy is free and let's hope he stays that way. The case has been kicked upstairs to the Attorney General and he is apparently going to pronounce on it in quite a few months' time. Well, frankly, the government doesn't really have a leg to stand on. Apparently, the day after Tommy was arrested and sent to jail, the lawyers for the defendants went to see the judge and asked for the case to be thrown out, and the judge said, no way, no possible harm, no possible prejudice has been done to the trial by anything Tommy said, so the case sticks. So there's no case. Of course, as Tommy said, the whole thing was because of who he is, not because of what he might have done. So what can we do now? Well, firstly, if you're not already informed about what Islamic ideology actually teaches, then I suggest you do so. We're talking about the ideology here, not about people. And for instance, in the 1920s, Hitler wrote Mein Kampf and said exactly what he wanted to do with regard to the Jews and with regard to Eastern Europe. And then when he came to power, he set out to do it. And a lot of people said, oh, it can't possibly happen here. Germany is so advanced, we're so intellectual. And the Holocaust happened. And millions upon millions of people, 6 million of them Jews, were horribly murdered. And there was utter degradation of any kind of decent morals in how they were treated. It can happen anywhere. When I was younger, I actually studied history at university, and one of my lecturers there had actually been a schoolboy at the time when Hitler came to power. And he said it was remarkably quick how everything was changed in schools, how the young generation were Nazified very quickly, because the younger generation were the ones that Hitler wanted to use to further his ambitions. So be informed. Secondly, we can write. Now, I'm still waiting for any response from the Prime Minister, the Home Secretary, the Attorney General. I even wrote a letter to the Times yesterday, which I doubt will be published, but I'll put it below in case anybody wants to read what I had to say. But the fact is, the more people who write, the more notice will be taken, and to the mainstream media as well, who've been essentially peddling so many lies against Tommy Robinson. Politely, of course, but firmly and clearly saying what we think. But what really counts is how we vote. Now, of course, it's up to every one of us how we vote. It's not my business to tell anyone how to vote. But I would like to suggest that both the major parties have let us down. The Labour Party is led by an anti-Semite, and unfortunately, I don't think the Conservative Party is far behind in political correctness and bowing to the dimitude that non-Muslims are supposed to be with regard to Islamic ideology. So that leaves, well, essentially, I think, this is my opinion, that voting either for UKIP or Britain First, would be nice if they came together, would be a good idea. Obviously, it's up to you. And of course, we have the first past the post constituency system, which makes it more difficult than in, say, European countries where your vote actually counts. But nevertheless, if enough people actually stand up and say enough is enough, it's amazing what can happen. And finally, talk to friends and family. Somebody says it can't happen here. Well, it can. It happened in Germany. It happened in Russia. It happened in lots of places where a totalitarian ideology took over. Now, probably most people didn't support it, but that didn't matter. Fear can be very effective if you let it get out of control. And it's far better we stand up now, as Ezra Levant said, even though it may be difficult, because later on it's going to be an awful lot more difficult. Now, I have a bit of an advantage in that I don't live in Britain, so anything I say on social media, although frankly I would be the last person to want to spread hatred against anyone, cannot be prosecuted or under these hate crime laws. I'm not expecting a knock on the door from any policeman saying we don't like you telling the truth about what Islamic ideology actually says, or supporting Tommy Robinson. Actually, it's going to be interesting. I'm planning to visit Britain for a few days at the end of November. Hopefully, I will just swing in and swing out. I'm come to see my family for a very brief visit, but if anybody actually wants to talk to me on the way in, then it will be truly sad where Britain will have fallen to. I hope it doesn't happen. But just for simply posting the truth, I have been falsely accused of being a racist or a bigot, and anyone who knows me knows I'm not. Those are the knee-jerk PC reactions if you dare actually speak the truth. But it's important. I may have less to lose than many people living in Britain, which is why I feel a responsibility to speak out. Something really stirred in me in May when Tommy Robinson was arrested. But we need to speak out. We need to speak the truth, not in hate, but honestly, because I don't want the younger members of my family or my friends' children or grandchildren or anyone to wake up and find that they are living under Sharia law, which is horrifically oppressive. I don't want there to be civil war in Britain, as there was in Lebanon, when Muslims became the majority there. If you don't know what happened there, check out what Brigitte Gabriel had to say about that. I'll give a link below as well. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and don't be afraid. Okay, have a great weekend. Goodbye.